A day after the U.S. imposed tariffs on Canada, Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston discussed ways his government could help.
What those supports will look like will be determined over the coming days in conjunction with the federal government. But just so you have a sense of where our heads are, we're looking at options like EI top-ups, like buying goods from canceled projects and retraining options for workers.
The province has announced a $200 million contingency fund, and Houston says that can be topped up if necessary. Houston announced countermeasures yesterday, including pulling American booze from NSLC shelves. The government will block U.S. companies from bidding on tenders and double the tolls American commercial trucks must pay at the Cobequid Pass. Meanwhile, the Premier continues to push other provinces to knock down interprovincial trade barriers. Houston says not all provinces have bought in as fast as he'd like, but he's optimistic that will change.
Having Ontario on board, I can't understate the importance of that. It is incredibly important that the largest province in our country said we're in. Count us in was their word.
Opposition leaders were pleased to get more details today, but they are looking for a more coordinated approach.
We know there's a contingency fund, we know there are possibilities, but how are those decisions going to get made? We need to make sure that the voices that need to be at the table are at the table. We need to hear from industry, from all of the leaders of sectors, from workers, and from Nova Scotians to see what our path forward is.
A Liberal bill would set guidelines for how the contingency fund would be used.
I believe that the government should be designing a blueprint on how that money should be distributed. So we want to bring people together, have the conversation around that money, and set some parameters around it to determine how we're going to support businesses, how we're going to support individuals, and ultimately be accountable for taxpayers' dollars.
Houston says the province is waiting to see federal support measures and will look to augment those and fill gaps as necessary. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.